Hi, Dr. Alina Kolchitsky, Boutique Bodyworks. Today I'm going to make a slow cooker stew, all just vegan, so just plants only. And it's going to be high in protein because we're using legumes of all kinds. So I have a mixture here that I soaked overnight in my Instant Pot, a reservoir or pot part of it. And so inside of here I've got all kinds of beautiful, colorful, different varieties of legumes. Things from like lima beans, kidneys, split peas, black beans, the whole gamut, aduki, and there's some barley in here too. So you don't have to put barley in if you're staying away from grains for whatever reason. But most people should be able to have whole grains. They carry important nutrients, and we do need those nutrients. And so you can change the grains for the ones appropriate for you if you have any dietary restrictions, allergies, or sensitivities. Okay, so these soaked overnight, so now they're like twice, 3 times the size. I have to rinse them rather. So grabbing a colander or a sieve, and let's bring you down so you can see what's going on. Give it a little more light. So I'm just going to dump that in here. Some of them started to sprout. And you may have heard of that, about sprouted grains and their health benefits. And so, yeah, feel free to soak yours long enough so that they sprout. Okay, so let's rinse. For people who have a lectin sensitivity, soaking it longer so that they sprout would be beneficial, as well as rinsing really well. It just gets rid of the lectins. It makes the plant change in its composition somewhat. Okay, so we're going to let this just kind of sit here while we prepare the sofrito. So in many cultures, a common base for soups and stews is carrot, celery, rice, garlic, and onion. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's grab our ingredients from the fridge. I only have baby carrots because it's what I snack on easy, so we'll grab those. I do have a shallot, which is a nice change or variety of the onion. Some garlic, maybe we need more. I like to use a lot of garlic, as you may have noticed, and some celery. But garlic, and the onion family in general has lots of benefits, and where we live here in South Texas, we suffer from mold all year round, but especially in our cooler season, which is right now. And so garlic and onion family have been shown to reduce your allergic response to mold, to help you with mold allergies. So, not just to keep away the vampires, but also to keep away the mold reactions. I'm just washing my celery. And we'll grab a knife and we'll start chopping. There we go. So you want to take off the ends. And slice them. The thickness just depends. Everybody's different. Not the best knife. It's not a chef knife, obviously. I do like to cut the wider part a little bit so that it's a little more uniform in size, the pieces. Not having huge chunks and chopping instead helps to just, create uniformity of the cooking of the vegetable, but also of the flavor throughout the dish as it cooks. So you don't want to just put the whole, celery or just the celery stalk cut in half. You actually want to chop it so you can, one, cook everything evenly, and two, get all the flavors dispersed throughout. Okay, so I'm not going to put too much carrots, so you see how much I've got here. Carrots are high in vitamin A and beta carotene, good for your eye health. They say, with these things that look like the piece of anatomy, help that piece of anatomy. So carrots look like the eye when it's cut. You see the little pupil, right? And so they're good for the eyes. That's how you know. Walnuts look like a brain and they're good for the brain. There may be some wisdom to that. If it helps you remember, then sure. But if you're eating the rainbow of vegetables and plants, then you're getting all the diversity of minerals and vitamins that you need. Beta carotene is an antioxidant. It helps us to fight oxidative stress in our body, which happens with all cellular reactions. Oxidative stress is a result of cellular reactions, cellular respiration, and so it's not something you can prevent. You can reduce it by doing less damaging things to yourself, like not smoking or drinking or other toxic substances. Taking care of your body, getting enough sleep helps you to combat oxidative stress. But eating antioxidants reduces those ions of the free radicals floating around, and they help us with the oxidative stress. Okay, the shallot. So we need to clean that. So it just looks like a different kind of onion, right? Which it is. Has a different kind of flavor. They're really nice for sautéing as well into dishes. I also kind of like them because the way they kind of separate into pods. So one shallot could actually be 2 or 3 pods within. And so as a single person household, it's kind of nice because then I could put one away in a container and just use one for cooking. Like this would be great for just my stir fry for myself at lunchtime. But I'm going to use the whole thing here for this stew, which is going to last me for several meals. I love meals that are all in one, like a bowl that has everything you need, or a plate that has everything you need in one meal. Because it just is easy and healthy. And when you cook a big pot or of something, you've got it, a whole meal for the rest of the following days. So it's convenient. When people say it's so much work to eat healthy, not really. I mean, a little bit, but the time it takes to go out to eat and sit down and order your food and wait for it and whatever, I've cooked a whole pot of food in less time than that, and it's lasting me for several meals. So I really highly disagree with that way of thinking. As you see, I'm not doing anything fancy here for cutting or my knives. You don't have to. You can if you want to. I mean, go to town if that's what you like and that you enjoy it. Absolutely. But you don't have to. So don't worry. Don't let those things stop you from making real food for yourself at home. Okay, garlic. Notice how I didn't worry about what order I put anything in the pot. This is going to just go in slow cook function, and it doesn't matter as a result. So garlic is a natural blood thinner, and so that is another benefit of eating garlic, not just fighting the mold allergies. Keeps the blood rather thin and prevents clotting and all that. If you are somebody who's on blood thinners, then maybe that's something you need to worry about, so talk to your doctor. But for most of us, it's fine and extremely healthy for you, so not something to avoid, but something to embrace in your daily diet. A daily dose of 1 tooth of garlic is a very good approach to dietary health. I'm going to put 2. Getting these started can be hard. They're really thick with the skins. So I'm just peeling off those outer skins. And let's take the big one. I think there's probably more than one in this one. Take off that little end. Remove the rest of the skins. Yep, sure enough, there's 2 in this one, kind of like the shallot. Little trick to getting your skins off is to just put it on a flat surface, press through your hand. Ooh, press too hard. And that just removes the skin. Nice. You can also use a knife. That was much easier than my hand, I have to say. Probably make it less smelly too if you use the knife, instead of getting that garlic stuff all over you. The garlic juice. Do not touch your eyes until you've washed your hands. So again, we've just got a nice, simple recipe here, and you could use a consommé or broth for the liquid to add to this before we set it to cook, because we need to add liquid to cook this. So vegetable broth, chicken broth, beef broth, whatever you prefer. I prefer vegetable, but you don't have to. You can use just plain water, because you're going to get broth made by cooking all these vegetables. It's what gives all the wonderful flavor, right? So not only do we need the vegetables for health, all the vitamins and minerals they provide us, and the fiber, which I talk about in every video, is so important for us, and we don't get enough of it in our modern Western diet. It's extremely fiber poor, which is why we have so many bowel problems, constipation, and other things related to that, diverticulitis. Pick up the one I dropped. Let's wash that, and we're going to cut it up. Notice I washed it and I'm using it. I'm not throwing it out. It fell on my kitchen floor, not on the street. So yes, the vegetables give us wonderful fiber, as well as the legumes that we're using here, which also gives us the protein. Vegetables have some protein, not high in protein, but they do have some, although some vegetables are higher in protein than others, like our mushrooms and peas, which is more like a starchy vegetable. Okay, so we've got that. Let's add some olive oil. Using my favorite. They have a non-GMO version, which is a little bit cheaper than the organic version, either one. And you can see me, yes. So this is cooking for several meals, so I'm going to be liberal. So I'm putting about 4 tablespoons. So if I ate 4 meals out of that, I'm getting about a tablespoon of olive oil per meal. Nothing wrong with that. Let's put in some spices. I have this spice mix from a friend of mine That's really wonderful. It's in a grinder, but I'm going to undo it and let it come out whole. It's got all kinds of stuff in here. It has some fennel seeds, black pepper, mustard seeds, amongst other things. So that's going to give us lots of wonderful flavors. Now, herbs and spices, we need them too. They don't just give flavor, they also give us wonderful health benefits, including many different kinds of antioxidants. People now know the benefits of curcumin, which is in turmeric and cumin, but there's every herb and spice has something wonderful, multiple things in general, usually not just one thing. Okay, so we can add back our bean mix. So I've got the olive oil, I got my seasonings, I'm going to throw in the legumes on top, which remember also has barley. So for me, once this is done, this is a full, complete meal. I have protein, vegetables, and whole grains all in here. You wouldn't need to add anything else to this. But for a bit of extra flavor, let's put in some tomato paste. Oops. I do like using tomato paste quite a bit. I buy this non-GMO version at my grocery store. So I'm going to put in about 2-3 tablespoons worth. If you want to measure it exactly, by all means, go for it, especially if you're not used to cooking and you're just learning, then you might want to measure. But after you've been playing for a while, experimenting, and have a lot of experience, you don't necessarily need to measure everything because you can pretty much eyeball it. With cooking, it's an art. It doesn't have to be exact. Baking, it does. Do measure with baking. Okay, what else? We want to put in some dried mushrooms. They give us wonderful flavor. And mushrooms are so good for us. They have selenium. They also can prevent stomach cancer. It has been shown to eat just an average ordinary mushroom daily. A serving daily will give you that benefit of prevention of cancer. This is shiitake. I got this for those in Texas at Central Market. And how many do you need? Well, since it's the whole mushroom, we're just going to put a few. It will rehydrate once it cooks and so on. Let's put in 4. They give a lot of flavor, so you don't need tons. Okay, we're set. So now we're just going to add water. I always use the water from my fridge because I've got a reverse osmosis filter on here, so that's the cleanest water. Yes, it's cleaner than bottled water, which is only just distilled. So I'm going to put enough to cover this and more. Again, you decide, right? So if you want to make a bigger volume of foods, you could add more water. But respect your container. So there is a limit for the maximum volume you can put in these pots. So make sure you do not go over that volume. Generally, there's a marker on the inside that tells you the maximum. Okay, now since I'm putting in a slow cooker function, I do want quite a bit of water because I don't want the risk of it burning while I'm off doing other things. And no, don't leave your house. So make sure you are in the vicinity, keeping an eye. So that's just my personal safety thing. Okay, so there's a line here and there's a line here. I'm not even at the max line, but you can see kind of how much water I've got. Okay, so let's take it over to the Instant Pot. Okay, so I'm going to plug this in. And let's see, soup broth, meat stew, bean chili, steamed pork, multigrain, slow cook. Let's turn on slow cook, 4 hours, sounds good to me. I'm going to put this on. Yeah, I know it's not on right. Not sure why. There we go. Okay, so I closed that. So I closed this, so I went from here to close. We've got 4 hours it's going to cook for, so this will definitely be ready by dinner time. It's 10:30 a.m. and that's it. It's cooking. And I'll be back later to see how it all comes out and show you. Okay, bye for now. Hi, I'm back. Let's take a look at what we've prepared. So it's been staying on warm all this time. Let's open it up. Okay. See, those mushrooms have hydrated nicely. It smells good. Let's see. And I'll take a little bit of a taste. Delicious, and everything is soft and tender. That's the way you want it with the legumes. So we have our hearty soup or stew. Success! Where are we? There we go. So great, it worked out really nicely, nice and simple, using the slow cooker. It cooked me my meal for the next few days and all the time while I was working. So I hope that gives you an idea. Again, play with the ingredients. You don't have to use exactly what I used. Use your own combination of legumes, beans or lentils, or both, grain, whole grain, vegetables, and herbs and spices, and water or type of broth. So play with those elements to create the flavors that you want and the nutrition profile that you want, and to attend to any food sensitivities or allergies as needed. So I hope that gives you some ideas. It's a one complete meal in a bowl, and I'm ready for dinner. Bon appetit, buen provecho. Ciao for now.